Imagine this: you're flipping through a jar of old coins you found in your grandma's attic, and boom, you stumble upon a penny. Not just any penny, but a 2007 Mint Mark Lincoln penny. At first glance, it looks like just another penny, right? But wait, this little copper disc could be worth a whopping $1.1 million. That's right, folks, $1.1 million. Now, I know what you're thinking: I better start looking through my couch cushions. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you love coins as much as I do, then you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the 2007 Mint Mark Lincoln penny, an unassuming little coin that could be sitting in your collection, waiting to make you rich. And trust me, if you've got one of these in your pocket, your bank account might just thank you later. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 2007 Mint Mark Lincoln penny is part of the ongoing series of pennies minted by the US Mint. On the surface, it doesn't look all that special. It features the iconic Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, that's the front of the coin for all my non-coin nerds out there, and the reverse shows the familiar Lincoln Memorial. So, why in the world would this penny be worth $1.1 million? Now, I know you're probably thinking, it's just a penny, what could make it so special? That's a valid question. But let me hit you with some coin nerd knowledge. Sometimes, it's not just about how old or shiny the coin is, but about rarity, errors, and a bit of history. For a coin like this to hit $1.1 million, it's gotta have something special. And the 2007 Mint penny has that rare something. It's one of those coins that slip through the cracks due to a mistake or a unique feature. It's a combination of rarity and the fact that collectors are always looking for these hidden gems. And the Mint mark? That's the mint mark for the Denver Mint, which means it was minted in Denver, Colorado. But here's the kicker: while the 2007 penny wasn't produced in limited numbers, some of them ended up with a minting error that makes them extraordinarily rare and valuable. People have been hunting for these pennies, and a couple of them have sold for six-figure sums at auctions. But what truly makes them rare and worth a fortune is that when these coins were made, a specific batch was somehow mistruck or made with unusual characteristics, like slight differences in the copper composition or even misalignment in the design. Think of it like the lucky penny you find at a flea market that everyone passes by only to find out later it's worth a fortune. Alright, here's where you need to pay attention. If you have a 2007 penny, don't just toss it in that nothing special jar. You need to take a closer look. Look for subtle signs like unusual wear, odd features in the Lincoln design, or anything that stands out from the typical 2007 pennies. To make sure your penny is the real deal, you should be looking for one of two things. It should have a specific minting error, like a doubled die, where the design is slightly doubled, giving it a distinct look. A specific variety in the coin's finish, like a unique tint or texture. Now, if your penny looks like it was in a pocket full of lint and it's all scratched up, well, it's probably not going to make you a millionaire. But hey, it's still cool to hold on to your pennies. One day, someone might want that collection. For how it became valuable, let me share a little story with you. A while back, I was going through some old coins I had stashed away in a drawer, the ones I never really paid much attention to. I thought, hey, these could be worth something, so I decided to take a closer look at a few. Now, I'd been into coins for years, but I'd never heard of a 2007 penny being anything special. Imagine my surprise when I found out how much these little guys could go for. I remember Googling the value and nearly spilling my coffee. $1 million? I thought, that's more than my car. I mean, come on, it's a penny. But that's the magic of rare coins. They can sometimes surprise you with their value. I even joked with my friends, yeah, I'm rich, I just gotta find a few more. So, what's going on in the market for these pennies? Well, like any valuable item, the market for rare coins can fluctuate. But right now, interest in rare and mistruck pennies is through the roof. Collectors love finding these anomalies, and with the internet and coin auctions, these finds get more attention than ever. If you've got one of these pennies, or if you're just curious, keep an eye on auction sites and coin dealers. I mean, who knows? You could find yourself holding a $1.1 million coin just because you happened to pick the right penny out of a jar of change. Alright, so let's wrap this up. If you've got a 2007 Mint Mark Lincoln penny sitting around, it might just be your ticket to a small fortune. It's all about rarity, minting errors, and the simple fact that collectors are crazy for these hidden gems. But remember, it's not just about this coin, it's about understanding what makes coins valuable in general. A little knowledge and a keen eye can go a long way in this hobby. So, if you enjoyed this little treasure hunt with me, make sure you hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more coin tips, tricks, and stories. You never know, one of these days, I could be sharing the next coin worth $1 million. Until then, keep looking through your change, and who knows what you'll find next. Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters! Have you ever thought your penny collection could be worth a small fortune? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing pennies out there, the 1995 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Yep, you heard that right. A penny, the one that you probably found lying in your couch cushions, could actually be worth $1.2 million. Sounds crazy, right? But trust me, this isn't just some fairy tale. Stick around because we're about to break it down and talk about how you can tell if your penny's hiding some serious cash. So, let's start with a little history lesson. You might be thinking, what's so special about a 1995 penny? I mean, it's not like we're talking about a rare 1800s coin that could rival a small country's GDP, right? Well, hold on to your hats, because this one's a bit of a mystery. In 1995, the US Mint made a lot of regular pennies, nothing out of the ordinary. But some of those pennies came out with no mint mark. You know, that little D or S you usually see on coins? Well, some of the 1995 pennies were produced without it. Now, this is where the story gets interesting. The US Mint has never fully explained how or why these no mint mark pennies ended up in circulation. Some people believe it was a mistake, while others think it was a sneaky little quirk in the minting process. Either way, it created a rare coin that collectors now flock to. Fast forward to today, and this little 1995 no mint Mark Lincoln penny is a huge deal in the numismatic world. Some of these rare pennies have been sold for over $1.2 million. Yes, million with an M. Now, I know what you're thinking, how do I know if I've got one of these bad boys sitting in my pocket? Don't worry, I've got you covered. First things first, check that mint mark or lack of it. A regular 1995 penny will usually have a D4 Denver or an S4 San Francisco. But a 1995 no mint mark penny? You guessed it, no mark. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, but with a really cool payoff. If you find one, it's definitely worth your attention. Here's the thing, not every 1995 no mint mark penny is going to fetch $1 million. Condition is key, my friends. A coin in mint condition, with little to no wear and tear, is going to be worth more than one that looks like it was dropped in a puddle and kicked around by a toddler. A penny that's been well preserved is going to be the goldmine you're looking for. And remember, it's not just about finding the penny, you've got to know how to take care of it, too. Now, let's take a quick trip down memory lane. I remember the first time I heard about rare pennies that could be worth serious money. I was at a yard sale, and I stumbled across a mason jar full of old coins. Of course, I was thinking, score. I'm about to find the next big thing. I dug through the jar like a kid digging for candy in a Halloween bucket, but instead of finding treasure, I came across, well, a lot of pennies and nickels. And then I found one. A shiny, 1995 penny with no mint mark. My heart raced. Was this the one? Was this my ticket to early retirement? I was so excited, but after a quick Google search, I learned the hard way that the coin had seen better days. I had a 1995 no mint mark penny, but it was worn down, scratched up, and looking worse for wear. My dreams of becoming a millionaire were dashed. But hey, it was a learning experience, right? The moral of the story? Don't just look for the penny, look for the condition. So, to recap, the 1995 no mint Mark Lincoln penny is a rare gem, and if you're lucky enough to find one in great condition, you could be holding on to a small fortune. The key is to keep an eye out, check your pennies carefully, and remember that condition is everything. Now, before you go running off to dig through your coin jar or raid your piggy bank for that 1995 penny, let me leave you with this. Rare coins are all around us, but you've got to know what to look for. If you want to stay in the loop on which coins are worth money and how to find them, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss out on more coin tips and tricks that could change your financial future, one penny at a time. And hey, if you found a coin that's worth a ton of money, share your story with me in the comments below. I love hearing about those lucky finds. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Have you ever looked at a coin and thought, is this little thing worth anything? Or is it just another piece of loose change? Well, if you have a 1994 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny sitting around, you might want to pay a little more attention, because this tiny copper coin could be worth, hold on to your hats, a whopping $1.3 million. Yep, you heard me right, million. So stick around, because today, we're diving into the world of this rare Lincoln penny and I'm going to explain why it's more valuable than your morning cup of coffee. Now, you might be thinking, wait, isn't a penny just a penny? Well, yeah, it's easy to brush off pennies as just something you toss in your pocket, never to see the light of day again, but let me tell you, this 1994 no-mint Mark penny is a big deal. And I'll break down exactly why. First off, let's talk about what makes this penny so special. Back in 1994, the US Mint was running like a well-oiled machine, cranking out pennies left and right, but here's the kicker, some pennies from this year didn't get stamped with a mint mark. You see, normally, pennies from different mints have little letters, like D for Denver or S for San Francisco, near the date to tell you where they were made. But for a small batch in 1994, the mint forgot or maybe decided to spice things up and leave them off. And bam! This small error made these pennies way rarer than your typical Lincoln cent. The no-mint mark version is extremely scarce, and that rarity is what makes it so valuable today. And now, I know what you're probably thinking, I've got a ton of pennies from 1994, but they've all got mint marks. Well, don't go pulling out your entire penny jar just yet, because the non-mint marked ones are really hard to find. In fact, fewer than a handful of them are known to exist, making them incredibly valuable. It's one of those coins where even a tiny imperfection, or lack of one, makes all the difference. This is the kind of coin that people have scoured through rolls and rolls of pennies just hoping to find. And if you happen to have one, well, you might just be sitting on a fortune, but how exactly does this $1.3 million price tag come about? Well, it's all about demand and rarity. Since only a few of these 1994 no-mint mark pennies are known to exist, collectors are willing to pay top dollar to get their hands on one. Imagine this, you're walking into a coin auction, and there's this penny, sitting there all shiny and rare. The bidding wars begin, and before you know it, someone is shelling out over $1 million for a penny, a single penny. But let's bring it back down to earth for a second. Is it likely you're going to find one of these bad boys in your change jar? Not really. But hey, stranger things have happened. I'm not one to throw shade at good old luck. Speaking of luck, let me tell you a little story about my own run-in with a rare coin. One day, I was going through my old coin collection. This was when I thought all pennies were basically the same, and I came across a 1943 steel penny. I didn't think much of it, just another old coin that wasn't worth more than a few cents, right? Wrong. Turns out, it was worth a few $100. I didn't cash in on it because I was so clueless at the time, but it's a lesson I've never forgotten. That moment was like a wake-up call. There are treasures in your pocket. You just have to know what you're looking for. So, what do you do if you think you found a 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny? Here's a quick tip, don't rush to sell it on eBay just yet. You'll want to get it authenticated first. A coin like this is worth a ton, but it also brings out the scammers. A professional coin grading service can confirm whether or not you've got the real deal, and from there, you can set it up for a potential sale. Just be careful out there, folks. Alright, so to wrap things up, here's the bottom line, the 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is one heck of a rare find, and if you happen to stumble upon one, you could be holding onto a $1.3 million gem. But don't get too hung up on hunting for it, enjoy the process of learning about coins, and maybe your next pocket change could be worth something big. And hey, while you're at it, go through your old coin collection or check that jar of pennies you have lying around. You never know what you might find. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got more tips and tricks coming your way on valuable coins and other ways you can turn your spare change into something amazing. Trust me, you'll want to stay tuned. So, until next time, happy coin hunting, and may your pennies always be worth more than you thought. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new today, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more tips on coins worth money, collecting strategies, and more. I've got a ton of content coming your way, and you won't want to miss it. Catch you in the next one. Hey everyone! Imagine you're digging through a pile of change, doing the usual, checking out coins for fun or maybe hoping for a lucky find. And then, bam! You spot it. A 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. I bet you didn't know that little coin could be worth a whopping $1.4 million, right? I know, it sounds like a joke, but stick around, because in this video, I'm going to show you how this penny went from a humble little copper coin to a six-figure treasure. We'll dive into its value, how to spot one in your collection, and why this coin is a big deal. Plus, I'll share a funny story about my own penny mistakes, so you can learn from my, embarrassing experience. If you like stories about rare coins, valuable finds, and tips for getting rich off pocket change, hit that subscribe button, because we're about to get into some serious coin business. Alright, let's start with the basics, the 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. It might seem like a regular penny, but if you find the right one, it could be a gold mine. Well, figuratively. The thing is, mint marks are crucial when it comes to determining the rarity and value of certain coins. For example, the 1991 penny that didn't get a mint mark? That one is an anomaly. You see, the US Mint was supposed to put a mint mark on every penny made that year, especially for those made in the Denver Mint. But somehow, they missed it on a few. Just a few. And those missing mint marks, my friend, are the ones that make a huge difference in value. Now, let's talk about why this is so valuable. It's all about scarcity. Coin collectors are constantly looking for rare variations, and in the world of coins, a simple mistake like a missing mint mark can send a coin's price soaring. Some of these 1991 no-mint mark pennies are selling for $1.4 million or even more. Yes, really. For a penny. It's like finding a $5 bill in your old jacket pocket, except it's worth way more than $5. I mean, who would have thought that something so tiny could pack such a punch, right? I still remember the first time I found a coin in my change and thought it was worth something special. It was a 1943 steel penny, and I thought I had struck gold. I rushed over to my local coin dealer, full of excitement, only to be told that, while it was interesting, it wasn't quite worth a fortune. And by the way, that coin is worth maybe a couple of bucks in regular condition. But that didn't stop me. It just fueled my passion to keep searching for that hidden gem that would actually change my life. Now, I'm not saying you're going to find $1 million penny in your couch cushions, though if you do, please let me know, but the key takeaway here is that you need to keep an eye out for these rare coins. You might not get lucky today, but you never know when that one mistake penny might land in your pocket. Let's break down how you can tell if you have a 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that could be worth $1.40 million. First things first, you need to look for that missing mint mark. Normally, the mint mark is right under the Liberty inscription. If you've got a 1991 penny with no mint mark there, it's worth checking out. You can usually tell by just inspecting it with the naked eye or using a magnifying glass. But don't get too excited just yet, make sure it's in good condition. If it's all worn down or corroded, it won't be worth nearly as much. In the world of rare coins, the condition matters. The better the condition, the higher the value. Coins are graded on a scale, and the higher the grade, the more money they'll fetch. Look for coins that are in mint condition, ideally ones that show no signs of wear. If it's been bouncing around in your change jar for years, it might not fetch the big bucks. If you think you found a 1991 no-mint mark penny, get it professionally certified. There are companies like PCGS and NGC that will grade and authenticate the coin for you. This way, you know you're not just dreaming about hitting it big. Once certified, it could be listed at auction for a hefty sum, and here's the secret sauce: finding the right buyer. Some buyers are willing to pay top dollar for rare coins, while others might not understand their value. So, when you find one, make sure to do your homework and get it into the right hands. The internet has opened up a whole world of opportunities. eBay, online auctions, and specialized dealers are where big prices are happening. Now, I've got a funny story for you. A few years ago, I thought I found the jackpot. I had a box of old pennies from my grandparents, and I decided to go through them one evening. There I was, sifting through these dusty old pennies, thinking I was going to discover $1 million find. I was so pumped, I started texting all my friends, "Guys, I think I'm rich." Well, turns out, most of the coins were just old copper pennies. The only thing I struck was a bruised ego and a lesson in patience. But hey, it was fun, and I learned a lot from that experience, so here's the deal. The 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is a rarity, and if you find one in good condition, it could be worth a small fortune up to $1.4 million or more. But remember, it's all about rarity, condition, and authenticity. So, take the time to check your coins, look for missing mint marks, and get them professionally graded if you think you found a treasure. And if you're anything like me, you might go through a lot of pennies before you get lucky, but that's all part of the fun, right? The thrill of the hunt is what keeps it exciting. So, if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more coin tips, tricks, and strategies on finding valuable treasures in your everyday change. Who knows? You could be sitting on the next big thing. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts. Let me ask you something. What do you think when you see a penny? A lucky charm? An annoying piece of change clogging up your wallet? Maybe it's a coin you never even look at twice. Well, let me tell you, if you've been ignoring your pennies, you could be leaving behind a small fortune. What if I told you that a single 1988 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be worth, wait for it, $1.5 million? Yes, you heard me right. I know, it sounds like something straight out of a treasure hunt movie, but stick with me, because today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of pennies and how some of them can end up being worth more than your car, your house, maybe even your coffee addiction over the years. So, grab your magnifying glass, or just squint real hard, because we're about to uncover the story behind the 1988 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, and trust me, it's a wild ride. Alright, so let's set the stage. It's 1988. A penny for your thoughts? Well, not quite. You see, back in the day, the US Mint was printing out regular old pennies. We're talking the standard Lincoln design on the front, and the classic shield or wheat design on the back, depending on the year. But in 1988, something odd happened. A batch of pennies was produced without a mint mark. Now, most of the time, you can tell where a penny comes from just by looking at the mint mark, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and P for Philadelphia, though, fun fact, they've started leaving the P mint mark off most Philly coins. So, when these 1988 pennies popped out without a mint mark, it was like a little glitch in the system. A small mistake. But, oh boy, was it a valuable one. Fast forward to today, and those unmarked 1988 pennies are really worth something. A single one of these bad boys could be worth up to $1.5 million, no joke. Now, I know what you're thinking, but it's just a penny. Who would pay that much? Well, let me explain. You see, these no-mint mark pennies are rare, and rarity drives up the price. If something is hard to find and in good condition, collectors go wild for it. And I mean wild. Like, you know that one friend who always brags about their rare Pokemon card collection? Yeah, it's kinda like that, but with more historical significance and fewer Pikachus. So, how do you know if you've got one of these rare pennies? Easy. All you have to do is look at the coin and make sure it's from 1988. If it's missing the mint mark, you've got yourself a potential jackpot. Keep in mind, though, it has to be in really good condition. A coin that's been through the ringer, banged up, scratched, or with a lot of wear won't fetch nearly as much. But if it's a crisp, clean coin, you could be sitting on a literal gold mine. Well, not gold, but you get the idea. Let's take a moment to reflect on this. Here you are, scrolling through your change jar, and you find a lonely penny from 1988. You give it a little side eye, toss it into the spare change pile, and move on. Meanwhile, somewhere out there, someone is probably outbidding someone else for a 1988 no-mint mark penny, so let's not miss our chance. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Not all 1988 no-mint mark pennies are created equal. Some of them are in such pristine condition that they can fetch millions. That's right, millions. It's like the lottery, but without having to pick 6 numbers, wait for a drawing, and risk losing all your money on bad scratch-off ticket stuff. I'll tell you, though, finding one of these pennies can feel like finding a needle in a haystack. Imagine this. Back in 2009, I was at a yard sale, you know, the kind where they try to sell you a broken toaster and call it vintage. There was this old guy who was selling a jar of loose change, and it had pennies galore. As I'm sorting through the jar, I pull out a 1988 penny, and I do a little double take. Could it be? Sure enough, it was a no-mint mark penny. But, folks, here's the kicker. I was so excited I almost gave it away to someone who thought it was just a regular penny. Yes, I almost gave away my chance at $1 million coin. Long story short, I kept it, and I can confirm it's still safely in my collection today. So, what have we learned today? If you've got a 1988 no mint mark penny, you could be holding on to a small fortune. These little guys have become highly sought after by collectors, and if your penny is in great condition, it could be worth up to $1.5 million. And even if it's not quite in mint condition, it could still fetch a pretty penny, pun intended. But here's the thing, it's not just about knowing the value of rare pennies like this one. It's about being aware of what's out there and keeping your eyes peeled for opportunities to cash in on rare finds. It could be a coin, a stamp, or maybe even that old t-shirt from 1992 that your mom insists on keeping in a drawer. You never know. Alright, so here's the big moment. If you're into coins, want to keep learning about rare finds, or just love hearing about strange and humorous coin stories, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on more tips, tricks, and the latest news about coins worth money. So, go ahead, check your change jar, your couch cushions, or that random bowl in your kitchen, because you could be just one penny away from becoming a millionaire. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're a coin collector or just someone who loves a good treasure hunt, you're in the right place. So, have you ever wondered if a penny could change your life? Well, today we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing stories in the world of coin collecting, the 1969 D. Lincoln penny, which is worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Yup, you heard that right, $1.6 million for a penny. Let that sink in for a moment. Now, before you start checking your coin jars, let me tell you how rare and special this penny is. So grab a snack, sit back, and let's see if we can turn your pocket change into a small fortune. Alright, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the 1969 D. Lincoln penny. First, the basics. What makes this penny so special? Well, to start, it has a mint mark of D, which means it was made in Denver. But here's the kicker, what makes this penny so valuable isn't just the mint mark, it's something that happened in its production process. This coin contains a rare error that makes it worth millions. And no, I'm not talking about a small smudge or something that could be fixed with a quick rub. I'm talking about a doubled die error, where the image of Abraham Lincoln is doubled, making it super rare. Imagine that, an extra Abraham Lincoln on the coin. It's like if you took a selfie and there was a surprise second you in the background. Weird, but definitely cool. And this error isn't something you'll find in every penny jar. In fact, it's incredibly rare, which is why this penny has become so valuable. People literally hunt for these like they're the holy grail of pennies. Now, let's talk about the numbers. A regular 1969 D penny might be worth, like, a penny because, well, it's just a regular penny. But if you find one of these double die error pennies, you could be looking at anywhere from $100,000 to $1.6 million. Yes, million with an M. That's the kind of money that could buy you a fancy car, a trip around the world, or, just a really nice coffee every morning for the rest of your life. But here's the catch, not every 1969 D penny is going to be worth that much. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. You have to be extremely lucky to stumble upon a double die error. And let's be real, most of us are probably better at finding lost socks than rare coins. But don't let that discourage you, because you could have one of these little nuggets of fortune sitting right in your change jar. I mean, think about it, those pennies you've been throwing around like they're useless? They might actually be sitting on a goldmine now. Let me tell you about a time when I thought I'd found the ultimate treasure, only to be completely wrong. A few months ago, I was going through my old coin collection, and by collection, I mean a drawer full of random coins I've accumulated over the years. I had this old penny that looked a little, well, special. It had that kind of worn out but still cool look to it. I thought, this must be worth something. So, I did what any normal person would do, I googled it. Turns out, it was just a regular old penny with a little wear and tear. But hey, I wasn't ready to give up just yet. I put it in a jar, hoping that maybe someday someone would come along and tell me it was worth a fortune. Spoiler alert, they didn't. But I'm still hopeful that one day, I'll strike gold. Anyway, the point is, finding a 1969 D double die penny is like finding the ultimate hidden treasure. And even though I didn't get rich off my special penny, I can still appreciate the hunt. Just remember, the thrill is in the journey, and sometimes the journey leads to $1.60 million. So, if you're out there hunting through your change jar or scrolling through old pennies online, keep your eyes peeled for those double die errors. The 1969 D Lincoln penny is out there waiting for the right collector to discover it, and that could be you, but hey, don't just take my word for it. If you love learning about rare coins, valuable pennies, and strategies for finding treasures like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on more tips and tricks to make your coin collection worth a fortune. And hey, while you're at it, go ahead and share this with your friends. They might be sitting on a hidden treasure without even knowing it. Remember, your next treasure could be sitting right in front of you, so stay curious and keep hunting. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next video.